Vancouver International Film Festival happening in our city, the industry conference when it comes to screenwriting. This is the art form that you two have succeeded at. Nicole Perlman and Craig Borden joining us. Thank you both for being here. I'm sure a lot of people approach you and say, I've got this idea for a movie. What is it that when you have an idea, what's that crucial element you need to have an idea that's going to translate to a compelling story on the screen?
I would say any idea that I come up with or have heard, I have to be able to tell it to other friends and see them get excited about it and wonder if this is a movie that I would want to go see. Because there's a difference between just a cool setting or a quirky incident in history and whether it has a compelling emotional story, whether it's visual. There's a lot of things to take into account.
And Craig, for you, Oscar nomination for Dallas Buyers Club, this story with Ron Woodruff. This was something that you came across in the 90s and worked so hard to get on the screen. Tell us about why that story worked for you.
Well, I think, I think I have to connect to the emotional through line of the story that has to hit me in the heart. So if I'm connecting with the humanity, then I feel like it's a great story. I don't really look at the other elements. I kind of look at it like, what am I going to attach to? Whose storyline? And so Ron Woodruff's was personal to me because my father had succumbed to a terminal illness, and his story with the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies and the disease itself was very similar to what I went through with my father and cancer. And so it just, it spoke to me on that level, and there was an emotional through line about when I met with Ron Woodruff. The one thing that struck through was he wasn't a man who was dying. He was a man who just started living for the first time when he knew he would die. And that was a similar thing that happened with my father. I think when people know they have a limited time here, they're a little more effusive about life and talking to you about things that you know what I mean. They're reflective. They're
it's to the core,
yeah. And so that's.
A lot of highs and lows with screenwriting. I know the idea of making that movie was a decade plus with time. And let's look at your example with Guardians of the Galaxy, and a nice piece of history here being the first credited female writer in the cinematic Marvel universe. So congratulations on that. But the big challenge is Marvel has this amazing success on the silver screen. How did you do it differently? I mean, there's a lot of humor with Guardians. How did you approach this differently so you had something that could stand alone? Well,
it's interesting. The word stand alone, basically, when I was writing this project, there was no guarantee that it was going to get made. It wasn't a very specific, slotted in advance project where they knew exactly when it was going to get made and that it would be. So in a way, that freed me up to do whatever I wanted with the project, with developing it, because they said, maybe it'll get made, that would be great, but there's no guarantees. So make it separate from everything else that's going on in the Marvel world. Don't think about what Iron Man is doing. Don't think about the Avengers. Just go have fun with it. And so in a way, that standalone quality really helped.
As you two have been in the writer's room and you were saying, sometimes it's 7 writers, sometimes it's 11 making a movie. If an aspiring filmmaker is watching this right now, what's the best piece of advice you have for them if they want to go after their aspirations of being a screenwriter? Craig, we'll start with you.
I always say, write what you love. That's it. Just write what you love and be passionate about it, and it'll come through in your writing.
Cool.
I would say that don't worry about what's selling, because what may be selling now is not what will necessarily be what people want to buy later. So again, write what speaks to you, write what you think is a cool story, take risks, and develop your own voice.
Yeah, don't try to figure out the market.
Yeah, definitely
ever.
not. Yeah.
That's good to have that unique flavor to it. Well, listen, VIFF.org is the website, /industry to find out more. You're doing a showcase today, success stories later this afternoon. Details are on the website, and then Genre Mash Smash is Saturday with you, right?
Right.
Okay, check them both out. Learn a thing or two about making some films.